Alright guys, welcome back to another chess video. In this one we're going to play some Chaturanga. And in this case, the pieces move in a slightly awkward fashion. This piece will just move one square diagonally, so it gives kind of an imbalance from the get-go, because black will have good control over the light squares, and then I'll have good control over the dark squares. In addition to this, there's no castling. Rooks are rooks, knights are knights. This elephant looking piece is able to jump over and move sort of two squares, and it has to move two squares, so sort of two squares diagonally. And that's basically that. Pawns can only move one square, so it's a bit slower paced, but still kind of an interesting game. So we just need to make sure that all of our pieces are guarded well. Still want to control the center in this variant. Definitely taking space is a requirement in this one. Go here, I suppose. Okay, we're going to have an open file. The one thing that isn't really stated is some of the piece values, so we'll have to figure out sort of how valuable each piece is. Seems like the rook is really the most powerful piece, followed by perhaps the knight, then this strange piece. This is a free knight, because this guy, I don't think this guy can take in your, oops. Yeah, so they jump over, but it doesn't capture. So that piece is now controlling these two squares, which here doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to continue about my business. Right here looks good enough. I just need to pay attention to the time. So I'm slightly behind on the clock, but it seems like I'm okay here. This piece is kind of boxed in, so he can only move here. This guy is really only looking at these two squares. I can threaten this guy though, so it seems like a reasonable idea. Also, maybe trying to take this square away could be a good idea. That move is not so great. Just going to lop this guy off. Now this is a threat, so we need to address this. Also, this piece is not very valuable, so I definitely don't want to allow a trade here. So we'll just back this guy off here. And I'm not afraid of the rook capturing. This guy is still threatening nothing, and he's also not guarded, so I'm just going to come back and take. This is a threat, and this guy is not currently guarded, so I'm going to use my... Oh, actually, whoops, I should have just captured this guy. Okay, but I'm still ahead by quite a bit. So we can try this one more time. May have to cut this since there's so few people playing this game. But I actually like it. I think it's a little bit easy to play because there's not so many long range pieces to keep track of. You only have to worry about the rooks, really. So it's a little bit more relaxed, a little bit easier, a little bit slower paced game here. So for some of you that are just looking to enjoy, rather than play a super complicated game where pieces can zip all over the place, then Chaturanga might be for you. Chaturanga, I guess. Chaturanga? You can tell me in the comment section below how it's supposed to be pronounced. And we have the counselor. So the counselor is basically what the queen was replaced with. And the elephant, or the alfil, is that guy that sort of jumps one square diagonal. Okay, so this guy should be a higher caliber opponent. So let's see how this one goes. Just going to pre-move because, yeah, it seems like there's not really that many amazing things that can be done here. Okay. So I'm just going to take away this square. This guy likes to develop his pieces pretty quickly. I think I'm more in favor of just pushing a lot of pawns here because the game is so slower paced. I don't actually care about developing my pieces that much. So I feel like that's going to be a stronger strategy. Still taking control of the center. Still going to be a good idea here. Just going to go ahead and take it. Want that center. Getting these alphils closer towards the center is also a good idea. So now I'm looking at some of these squares. Also know that, yeah, these pawns start off the game not really guarded, so that could be a target. Just keeping an eye on the squares that my opponent has vision on, so they have vision on some of these squares. Just looking at some of these squares a little bit further. I'm just going to continue to push some pawns. And I don't want to get too far behind on the clock. So I want to make sure that I continue to play relatively quickly here. He likes to just bring some of his pieces back, which is strange. Okay. Eventually I want to play this move. So this guy is guarded. I might want to just keep up the tension, just allow that tension to remain. So I'll just try to continue to develop some pieces. This is a little bit sketchy. We'll have to see how things pan out. Okay, so this guy is still guarded. Alright, I guess we'll capture. Okay, so this is a threat. And we said that there's no castling allowed. Okay. Let's see, how am I going to answer this threat? It seems like he did give up a pawn though. As long as I just guard this, then I should be okay. So I'll just use my king, since I can't castle anyway. And I'll pre-move this one. Because, yeah, this guy's not guarding, so it seems like that netted me a pawn. He could put some pressure down his file, though, yeah. Okay, not a big surprise there. If there's a way that I can just defend this guy and keep him there, then I would like to do that. But he has some weaknesses of his own, so I can do the same darn thing to him. So I'm threatening to take with a check. So even though he can win a pawn and threaten my alphil, it's not going to be as good as he hoped. I hope. I also do want to kick this knight out sooner than later. So these are definitely some ideas that I have. And then, of course, these are some of his ideas. So we'll have to see sort of what he does. Okay, interesting. So he's going to go ahead and just try to drive this guy away. Fortunately, this guy is less valuable, so that's why he doesn't want to take. He's a little bit hesitant to take here. If I just give this check, the king will be forced to come up, and my knight is looking pretty trapped. Same thing here. If I capture, then yeah, there won't be that many good places to put this piece. So I think I'm actually just gonna move back here. Not gonna do anything too crazy. And then even though he's got this attacked more times, this piece is not very valuable. It's like a slow moving pawn. So yeah, I don't think that this guy is a really valuable piece. It's advancing an elephant or alphil. Oh yeah, actually this guy was guarded a fair amount of times, so still it is a little bit difficult to get acclimated with how these pieces all move. It's a bit of a backwards pawn, so I don't want to have this guy just sit here forever. Eventually I want to do push him. Oh, this should have been a fork actually. So he's threatening my knight, I suppose. I do like the knight better than the alfil. So yeah, I think I do want to get this guy out of harm's way. And again, I need to make sure that I'm playing quickly enough. Yeah, I don't think I really wanted to do that, but whatever. Allow him to trade his alfil for my knight. Kind of a bummer. I do want to push here. Let's go for it. Give me some nice central control. If he pushes, then I'm just going to try to cramp him. And hopefully I won't be concerned about him bringing his knight in here. Actually, that may be a bit annoying. So that's going to be interesting to see how I'm going to handle that. Also note this guy is unguarded. If he pushes, maybe I could actually think about this move. Or, oh, actually, also my alfil is guarding the square. Okay, he retreats. Okay, I need to make some moves. I realize how low I was on the clock. I'm threatening his knight. He's threatening my pawn. Just making any move that I can, trying to move quickly. Gotta make a move. You could take this guy, that's unfortunate. It's definitely more important to move quickly here rather than move smartly. Okay, I can make it down here. Can't get me yet. This guy is trapped. So I'm going to be winning this material. Nice. Okay. So definitely a very interesting game. And it's much harder to defend because your pieces have less mobility. So let's try for one more game. And then we'll stop for this video. Okay, so somebody playing their first game, Chaturanga. They're using their knights. I'm just going to keep this guy out. And I'm going to continue with this strategy of really using the pawns. So he's attacking here. I'll just say, what are you doing there, buddy? Just gonna gobble this guy up. Okay, it doesn't seem like this game is gonna be much of a challenge. Okay, so we'll call it good enough for this video. Hope you guys found this one interesting. If you did, then drop a like, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So long for now.